All right, welcome back. Taking a look at your health news this morning. March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and health experts are urging more and more people to get screened and tested. Colorectal cancer has the nickname the silent killer because symptoms don't typically show up in early stages. It's also the second most common type of cancer across men and women in the U.S. Joining us this morning is Dr. Jessica Shepard, a health expert here in Dallas. Good morning, Dr. Shepard. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Well, let's just talk about what we're here to speak on here, colorectal cancer. You're here to shine a light on this issue and why it's such an important topic for people to know about. Some may not even have heard of it before we, started talking about it just moments ago.
Yeah, this is March and it's Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and it is important all throughout the year because it is the third most common cancer diagnosed in the US. And I'm sure a lot of people maybe have not heard about it, but the fact that it's the third most common makes that this is an important topic. So this is something that we start to see usually in older ages, over of 50. But the most interesting thing that we've seen in statistics over the last few years is that among 20 to 34-year-olds, the rates of colorectal cancer has increased by as much as 51%. And catch this, even by the age of, or the year rather, of 2030, it's going to increase by 90%. So as you can see, it's something that we need to talk about a lot more because it's going to impact ages that are younger.
Yeah, those are very high percentages. You talk about screening. How do people go about doing that?
Yeah, screening for colorectal cancer. Now, we do have the colonoscopy, which is where we use a camera and we insert that through the colon and look for any polyps or any lesions and can take biopsies. But the most important part is to make sure that as your own person and advocate for your health, that you're looking for signs for colorectal cancer, which may come in the form of maybe blood in the stool or change in your appetite or a severe weight loss that is very atypical to you, that you need to talk to your doctor about those symptoms and make sure that you're not having any symptoms of colorectal cancer. And also looking at family history. For me, my dad was diagnosed with colorectal cancer at a younger age. And so for me, that means the recommendations are going to start earlier for colonoscopies than what we see in the average age.
And so, they start moving the benchmark, I think, earlier and earlier to get screened. Why are more of these cases popping up in younger adults, doctor?
Yeah, I think that this is probably the most important question that we need to answer when it comes to research, but a lot of that can be put into genetics, but also our diet. When we look at the amount of processed foods that we consume and low fiber, so that's kind of a hint for everyone to increase their fiber and decrease the fat in their meals, and also chemicals in the environment. So it's a lot of environmental factors, diet and nutrition, but also genetics as well.
And so, doctor, we want to do one last big takeaway for anybody at home who might be saying to themselves, okay, I'm in this age range. How much should I take your words and say, okay, let's go get screened soon? What would you want folks to know who are hearing this maybe for the first time?
Yeah, I think that when you're looking at tips, screening is the number way to prevent or detect this disease early. So they have changed the age to 45 for screening via colonoscopy. So talk to your doctor sooner than later about getting that screening. And again, when you opened up saying that it's the silent killer, and when it comes to colorectal cancer, making sure that you understand the most common symptom is no symptom. So knowing your risks, talking to your doctor and getting your screening, watching your diet, exercising, and again, understanding that this is something that impacts men and women, and don't, take yourself out of any category and be your best advocate for your own health.
All right, Dr. Shepard, thank you so much for your insight and joining us so early on Daybreak this morning.
Absolutely.